Would you like Lifeweaver to nut on you? Because I got good news for you. For the fun of it, I just buffed every single Overwatch ultimate for no reason, and took a lot of inspiration from you guys. If you would like, comment down below Giga nerfs that you would give to every Overwatch hero's ultimate, and I'm sure I can do something about it. Also, join my Discord or follow my Twitch if you would like to be a part of playtests, even though I might switch to YouTube streaming. For Ana, a lot of people wanted to make it so she would nano boost the entire team, so I made it so when you nano boost someone, you can apply mini nano boosts whenever you heal a teammate. This is only about half as effective as an actual nano boost, however, this will give them a small speed boost also. There's some really devious combos you can do with that. Anyways, moving on to Ashe. A lot of people want to play as Bob, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's not very fun. You kill things very slowly, so I also made it so you can spam dynamites for no reason, along with Coach Gun. After that, we got Baptiste. Since Baptiste window is a window, the most logical buff I could do is make it an entire house, or a circular dome, I guess. And whenever you are inside this house, you'll have the same effects as if you were in a Baptiste window. Keep in mind the Baptiste window is still there, so you can do insane amount of damage. Next up is Bastion, and he was very difficult to do. And at first I wanted to make it so his artillery strikes did more damage or was bigger, but I asked my Discord for help and they said make him a fighter jet. So I did. If you press interact, you will be impulsed forward, while if you press spacebar, you will go up. After that, we got Brigitte, and I like big MILF mommies, so I made her an even bigger MILF mommy. She's basically Reinhardt, but she's a MILF mommy, and she does about the same amount of damage as Reinhardt, however, she can outduel him because of the healing. So have fun being a giant MILF mommy. Next up is Cassidy with one that I was wanting to do a while ago, and that is whenever you shoot someone with High Noon, you will stun them. I decided to have it ramp up just like its actual Deadeye. However, that actually just kills people if you manage to do it, so it's more of a bonus effect, where if you are not able to charge it all the way, or if they go out of line of sight and come back, think of it as insurance, I guess. If you don't charge your gun up enough to shoot them, or maybe they were out of line of sight when you started it, you can almost guarantee the kill if you shoot them after a long enough time. After that, we got Diva. I was going to originally make it so Diva Bomb just nuked the entire map and killed everyone no matter where you were, but instead I made it so there was radiation after your Diva Bomb blew up. This radiation isn't super strong, but it lasts for a very long time. Heck, I've even thought about buffing it to make it permanent. However, there is one little caveat with this, and that is the fact that Roadhog will not take damage from the radiation because he has a gas mask. After that, we got one of my favorite ones being Doomfist. When you meteor strike, you will grab everyone around you and pull them up with you. It looks really cool. And then when you slam, you will drop them down really quickly and slam them. This does give them time to react, but if you do it right, you can actually knock someone off the map and still survive yourself. Like I said, this one's one of my favorites, and honestly, I'd be perfectly okay if this was in the game actually. Next up is Echo with one of the hardest ones to code. When you duplicate someone, you will actually turn into that hero, not just a duplicate. You will then replace the spot of that person, respawning them at spawn, so it's sort of like an insta-kill, I guess. And then you will also change the outlines of yourself and the people around you to a blue coloring. This means that the enemy team will not know if you are their teammate or not. Think of the Your Eternal Reward from Team Fortress 2, and it's basically like replacing an enemy with yourself. You also will spawn with their ultimate when you do it. Next up is Genji with a pretty cute one. First off, the duration was doubled, but more importantly, when you swing your sword, you will shoot out a fire strike. I'm pretty sure this was a PvE ability concept, so I wanted to add it since I haven't done anything PvE related in a while. And the best part about this is that if you hit it, it feels so nice. But it's kind of like doing Nano Blade, but without the Nano Boost. Again, this is another change I'd actually be fine with in the game. Making it so Genji has to aim in his Dragon Blade in order to get the one-shot? I don't know. Sounds pretty fun. Next up is Hanzo, and you know how I said I would like Genji's in the game? Well, Hanzo's was in the game at some point. When you shoot your Dragon Strike, for 10 seconds, you will be able to shoot scatter arrows. This does only work with the primary fire, but these are absolutely broken. They do so much damage. They one-shot, I'm pretty sure, everything in the game, which wasn't intentional, but it's honestly so satisfying. Even though scatter arrow was so overpowered, I still love that ability. Next up is Iari. Someone told me to make it so Iari's ultimate blinds you, so it does basically exactly that. When you get hit by Iari ultimate, it will just straight up blind you. Moving on to Junkrat, I made this one pretty simple. The only downside of Junkrat's tire is that you can destroy it. So I made that very difficult. It only takes 10% damage, basically making it have 1000 health. It does 500% more damage, basically insta-kills, and it's 2 times faster. Good luck. After that is Junker Queen. Since I like MILF mommies, this isn't relevant. When Joker Queen ultimates, she will give her targets a permanent bleed that can only be recovered by grabbing a health pack or waiting the 60-second duration out. However, that's a little boring, so just like Doomfist, she also gets a supercharged punch. This translates to her axe, gun, and knife. When you shoot someone for the first time after your ultimate, you will push them to you. Same with the secondary fire, and same with the axe, actually most importantly with the axe. It is very satisfying launching someone to you and then getting a nice axe swing on them. Next up is Juno, and I had a lot of help with this one. A couple of videos ago, I showed off a change from Alomare where it was a UFO invasion that kidnaps people. And can you guess who helped me with this one? I have almost the exact version that was in that video. Some people asked me for the code for this and I didn't have one because I didn't make it. So now I do have the code for it. Shout out to Alomare. This change was amazing and I love it still. One of my favorites, and I know a lot of people out there, it's their favorites too. After that is somebody's OC in the Overwatch team. When you pop your ultimate, your little fox creature will reveal the location of your enemies. On top of that, just like a fox, when you shoot someone with your primary, you will steal 3% of their ultimate. If you shoot the tank in particular, this is really damaging. Shout out to the Minecraft Fox for giving me this change. Has to be one of my favorite genders. After that is the Nutmaster himself, Lifeweaver. Since he likes holding his nut, I was gonna do some type of squirrel change, but then I ended up making it so he just nuts around them. And someone said I am nutting on my viewers. All YouTubers are the same, I swear. After that is Lucio. Obviously, if you're gonna buff beat drop, you're gonna make it insta-kill. But more importantly, this one will push people back very far away. I didn't do anything super special with Lucio's this time, and this was just simply because I've done this way too many times, but it's also the best change you can possibly do to Lucio's ultimate. I really wish you could adjust people's sounds so you can make it so people go deaf, because someone said to play KSI's new song to make people deaf. I can't do that, but I definitely would if I could. After that, we got Maga with a pretty simple one. When you put down your cage fight, you will tether every enemy to you. This will then impulse them to you no matter what. This is basically just an overpowered Graviton Surge at this point. After that, we got the hero whose ultimate is not allowed as a real name for some odd reason. Wonder why? I made it so while your ultimate is still going, your primary fire will freeze people over time. This is just like the old version of her, and you Overwatch 1 people will get to feel the pain that I felt playing against the Mei all those years ago. After that, we got Mercy with a change inspired from her old version of herself. This is not Mass Res. I know people want Mass Res back, but I've already done that like 3 times. So instead, I made it so when you are in ultimate form, you have 0 res cooldown. If you were not there for Season 7 or whatever of Overwatch 1, she would just res everything in her ultimate basically. It was a very short cooldown and was instant, I'm pretty sure. So I'm paying homage to that PTSD, also me getting into Platinum using Mercy only. After that is Mora with probably the best idea change that I've done that I've been ignoring for the longest time. So many people have suggested this and I just for whatever reason did not do it. Give Mora a Kamehameha and it looks awesome. It lasts for about 2 seconds, and before you shoot out your beam, it will slow down time, so you'll say your whole voice line, and then just obliterate people. It looks so cool. For Orisa, I made it so her ultimate will pulse people towards her. Her ultimate is called Terra Surge, so I kept having it surge people to her, which I'm not really sure if I'm using the terminology correctly, but it makes it way harder for the enemy to escape you now. After that is Pharah with another very fun one. When you ultimate, instead of having a barrage in front of you, which you do still have, you will also shoot a ton of rockets around you. This one looks like chaos, just have fun with it. After that, we got the Ram Daddy. I'm gonna get rammed by Daddy. Okay. Ramatra was a surprisingly hard one to do for some reason because I just didn't find any of the ideas I made very fun until I just made his ultimate infinite. Yeah, that's it. His ultimate is just infinite. You can cancel it by pressing Q or shift again, but why would you do that when you could just fist people? After that, we got Reaper. Reaper is now a tornado. When you ultimate, you will suck everyone into you. On top of that, you'll be able to fly around, kind of, sort of. I fell off the map. This one is very simple and very fun, but it looks absolutely hilarious when 2 Reapers do it next to each other because they do like a freaking Beyblade circle. I don't even know what to call it. W suggestion. After that is Reinhardt with one that I was getting bugged about a lot. Someone said, hey, you should make it so Reinhardt will break walls. And I got this comment on like every video. So I said, you know what, why not? When you shatter a wall, you are able to then go through it. This has a small radius around you though, so it doesn't actually break it because you can't do that. But this is the closest that you can get. This can lead to some very funny plays, so have fun with Reinhardt. After that, we got Roadhog, and I don't know what it was with this guy. He was trying to do something really particular. I think what he was trying to do was make it so Roadhog's ultimate projectiles would bounce and do impulses. However, what ended up happening instead is this monstrosity on your screen. There are so many goddamn bullets here that not only did we not reach the projectile limit somehow, I don't know how that happened, but someone actively crashed. To be fair, there was 2 Roadhogs when they crashed. There were some people in their match that had their FPS at the top left of their screen, and someone got down to 5 FPS during it. This is not nearly as effective outdoors, but having bullets just go everywhere is complete chaos. After that, we got Sugma with one of my absolute favorites ever. When you pick someone up with your ultimate, you will slam them back down for a very long time. This one's just funny, another W change. After that, we got Sojourn, and I've realized that Sojourn always gets the short end of the stick when I do these changes, but this time it's actually pretty funny. Whenever you shoot someone with your secondary fire during your ultimate, you will launch them. If they do not touch the ground in around 2 seconds or 1.75 seconds, they just die. This is countered by being indoors, which is actually the opposite of the Roadhog change we just talked about. Otherwise, if they're in the air long enough, they will just straight up die. After that, we got Soldier. Somebody said to make it so you will always headshot in Soldier ultimate. The easiest way to do that would just be to double his damage, but instead I made it so you can actually toggle his aimbot. If you press interact, you will look at the closest person to your crosshair. You can then press interact again to untoggle onto them. This actually has a lingering effect after his ultimate for about 10 seconds, I would say. However, that only happens if you do it at the bare end of his ultimate. So if you want extra wall hacks on top of the 10-second duration, I increased the duration also. Make sure to press interact at the last second. This obviously isn't perfect because workshop, but it's pretty effective, I could say. Next up is Sombra. Can you guys guess what people told me to do? They told me to crash the game mode. So whenever you EMP as Sombra, whoever you hit, including yourself, will just immediately be kicked from the game. This does have a toggle option for you to toggle it off though. For Sim, I keep getting the suggestion to make her wall an actual wall where you cannot pass through it. However, that is way too difficult for me. So I was sent somebody's game mode with a Sim wall that does actually block people from going through it. However, I feel really guilty if I just import somebody's game mode without permission. So here is the game mode on screen, and please go try it out. I have played a little bit of it and it's actually really fun. Anyways, you cannot pass through Sim's wall. Very big buff, very cool. And as a reminder, I did not make this change. Please go check out the game mode. Next up, we got Torbjorn. When you ultimate, you will also become a miniature volcano. This is very strong, looks very cool, and your hammer will one-shot during your ultimate. For Tracer, this was actually the first one I ever did and was the whole inspiration for this video. I mean, besides the one who commented the Reinhardt change a million times. When you pulse bomb someone, they will get launched to their teammate. This is one of the most hysterical changes in this video, and I will say if you miss the pulse bomb, it will do nothing unless if it damages someone. So you must land your pulse bomb. This one is super fun, and it's not super accurate. It sometimes goes to dead people, but it will go into the sky and hit mercies, which is really funny. Have fun with this one. After that, we have Venture Overwatch, the opposite of an OC for the Overwatch hero team. Their change is pretty simple. When you hit someone with your ultimate, you will create a ravine and they will fall through the map. This was honestly a little too underpowered, so I also made it so it sinks them in, like quicksand. It sucks them. After Venture Overwatch is Widowmaker. Widowmaker was pretty simple. Someone said, make it so Widow can shoot through walls. I've done that before, but here you go. What's really funny about this version is that you can be very inaccurate and still hit people. And I feel like that balances it out. And also we figured out that apparently you can just primary without secondary firing and just melt people through walls. That's been bug fixed, I promise. After that, we got Winton. When you primal and you press interact next to someone, you will take them with you. It's like a little monkey adventure, I guess. With that being said, you can also strangle them while they're in your arms. If you end up letting go of them, you will launch them. This is very similar to the monkey spin change I did, but that's what people wanted. That's how I buffed it. After that, we got the hamster, and he is on hamster steroids. After you pop your ultimate, you will be 2 times faster. On top of that, your grapple cooldown is going to be 0. And finally, when you hit someone with the fireball, they will light on fire. This all is only 20 seconds, I think, after his ultimate, because he's a very healthy hamster. He doesn't take too many steroids. This one's really fun. For Zarya, it's a black hole. What do you think we're gonna do? In the realistic change video, I made it so basically everything dies around her. This time, it's just the Graviton. Anyone who gets hit by the Graviton instantly dies. There's really not too much to say, it's just an insta-kill death orb. And finally, for Zenyatta, as always, I try and do something unique for Zenyatta, but it doesn't always work out. This one was pretty funny, though. When you transcend, you will also shoot balls at people from your iris, I guess, obliterating people afterwards. At first, it was a little too weak, it kind of pushed people away, so I buffed it, and now it just basically insta-kills anyone in front of you, as long as they aren't, like, directly in front of you, because then it goes over them. But this is a buff nonetheless. Thank you for watching, like, and subscribe. Comment a Giga nerf that I should do to every Overwatch hero's ultimate. And here are the playlists on screen, or if you want to watch more of my Overwatch videos. I can now finally eat my chips